Welcome once again, disc golf fans, to the 12th annual Chainhawk Open presented by Dynamic Discs. We've got the final 9 holes of this PDGA 8 tier coming your way from Northside Park in Gainesville, Florida. The weather has been an issue. Rip has been back and forth. So has this lead. As we continue to see movement throughout the leaderboard, Run Productions proudly bringing you this coverage. I am Felix Vega, joining you once again here behind the mic. Let's check out the leaderboard. Sarah Hokom currently holding on to a 2-stroke lead over Jessica Weese. Holly Finley 3 down. Morgan Lane's making a charge on one of the later cards here. But it's been a two-horse race between Sarah Hokom and Jessica Weese. And we start things off here on this back 9 at hole number 10, a par 3, 254 feet. Pretty much straightforward shot right in front of you the entire time. Just have to get your disc to go straight, hold the line, minimize your finish here, and get yourself the look for the 2 on one of the easier holes on this course after a pretty daunting stretch of holes. Holes 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9, all very difficult gets. You start off hole 10 feeling like you need to get a birdie here. And unfortunately, that's going to get a kick way left there for Holly Finley to start things off. Jessica Weese making a bit of a charge. Despite a late bogey there during the front half here, throwing this forehand nicely, getting a little bit of ground play, but that's going to be inside the circle with a look for the birdie. And Sarah Hokom opened up what was a 5-stroke lead at one point. Started off with a 4-stroke advantage overall, gained an immediate stroke on hole 1. Jessica Weese then trimmed that back down to 4 and has continued to chip away as we continue to deal with this weather and precipitation. And she's chopped it down to 2 strokes here as Sarah, with a long bid, and a valiant bid it was, goes a little bit long. You see that pink disc there towards the top of your screen is Jessica Weese's drive, so she is going to have a birdie look here on hole 10. And this is her look here to cut this to 1 stroke. And she makes good on the birdie, so the charge continues for Jessica Weese here. It's a 1-stroke lead now for Sarah Hokom as we move through some more scoreable holes coming up here. 11 a gettable one, 13 a gettable one, 14 a gettable one. So the more difficult stretch of the course is behind us here. Take a look at our score box here. A couple of birdies, couple of pars for the ladies here on this lead card. We'll move on to hole 11. This one a very gettable par 4, 416 feet. You've got this kind of standing water on the right-hand side. We did have some weather move through before the tournament, so a little bit of soggy conditions throughout here. Highs are on the right-hand side, forehand off the left-hand side also plays well. Just need to beat this late tree here to get towards the pin, and you do have out of bounds behind the basket as there's a creek that is a little bit of a root there. That is roped off as out of bounds. Jessica Weese up first. We saw her throw this same disc on hole 9. And once again, she's throwing it beautifully. Just needs to settle. And she will have a circle 2 look. If she wants to try to get an eagle here. Sandy looking to punch it through to that left side of the fairway, and she has done so. Holly taking the right side of this fairway, looking for some soft finish back towards the pin there. And if you get past that cluster of trees there, you're pretty much wide open for your approach on either side. Definitely opens up the options for you. This one is going to get caught up on the high left side there for Hokom. Sandy with the forehand approach there. Checks up and gets a nice little redirect off a root back towards the pin. Hokom, pretty straightforward look here right at the pin. Opting for the forehand, just needs a little bit of finish here. Oh, that's gone long and she's out of bounds. So she gets to that restricted area there behind the basket, which is out of bounds. Holly with the jump bid there, laying it up inside the circle. Jessica Weese here, just if she can get up and down for this birdie. She floats that one inside the circle. She's going to have a birdie look here. The best that Sarah can do after going out of bounds would be a par. She's got OB on her second shot. This is Holly Finley lining up a birdie putt. Again, that road in the background, all the commotion going on can really be a factor, but Holly able to focus up, hits a good strong putt there for the birdie, bringing her to 2 down for the round. And this is Sarah Holcom's look here. This is for par after going out of bounds on her second. Jessica Weese is looking at a birdie putt. Just a 1-stroke advantage so far for Hokom. And that's going to be low. She will have a tap in left for bogey. And now Weese for the birdie and the outright lead. And she has it. Jessica Weese starting 2 down through 2 on the back 9 has erased what was once a 4-stroke lead to start the round, as big as a 5-stroke lead at one point. And she now is going to find herself after Sarah Holcom taps in her bogey with a 1-stroke advantage. And there it is. That moves Sarah down to 9 under. Weese at 10 under. And just like we saw the back and forth during round 2 and moving day, we've got some crazy movement going on so far in this final round.
Missy, taking the risk.
Welcome back to the action. We move on to hole 12, this par 3, 300 feet on the dot. A tricky one as this one moves from left to right. Initially you want to get your disc going straight towards this opening here and then start to drift over to the right hand side. It's actually tighter on the tee box than it looks like on this drone. You almost need your disc to be turning immediately out of your hand if you really want to get a good shot at this birdie. Difficult one to access. Usually one that if you can get it, definitely feels like a bonus birdie. Forehand here, if you've got it, is a bonus. This looks really good. Just gets a little bit of a late knockdown there from some of those palm fronds on the right. Sandy going with a flippy driver, and that one unfortunately is going to get caught up early as well and drops her down behind a clump of trees. This might be a little early right there for Holly. Gets a pretty favorable knockdown kick though. That pushes, that's going to be good. That looks really good from here. We're going to see once Sarah gets up there. Nice soft little forehand approach there for Sandy. Nicely done. I'll give her a look. Holly nestles it up there to the pin. Nice touch once again. Weese for birdie and just on the right side. Doesn't quite drop all the way in. Sandy for her par, and that one's going to be low. Unfortunately, waiting to see where Hokom ended up. Oh, she is inside of 15 for birdie, and that one a little bit high, but it is in for the birdie. And we're going to have a tie at the top here. As we see the drop in there for Weese. Let's check the stats here on hole 12. And yes, Sarah Hokom with the only birdie on hole 12 here during this final round. So definitely a forehand advantage on that hole. Nice get for Sarah, and she has knotted things up once again. Let's move on to hole 13. This par 3 coming in at 283 feet. Straight tunnel shot here. You've got a pretty well-defined fairway in between these different sets of trees left and right that you want to aim towards. You're going to have a very subtle right-hand finish at the end of your flight here. Flip-up backhands work well. Flip-up sidearms work well. Just anything that you can trust to throw straight 280 feet or so will give you a look. There's a couple different fairways, but really most people are going to take this left side fairway that Sarah Hokom is punching towards, and this looks outstanding, and she has done everything she needs to do there to give herself a birdie look here. Caddy Chris checking out the scores. Weese is going to get this one moving early right, and that's going to give her a longer look than she would like. It's got to be such a... Oh, that's... it's getting razzed there by some of the traffic in the background. It's that road again that we talked about that affects multiple holes on this property. This is one of them. The next 2 or 3. That road can really come into play, and unfortunately, that one works. Holly. Sandy getting a little bit of a late kick to the left off of one of those trees there. And this is going to be Holly up first. Looks like she's going to be up near the green there. That one may still be caught up behind those trees for Sandy. We'll have to wait and see what her lie will look like. This is a long bit here for Holly Finley, looking to scramble her way to the par. And that's going to be short left out of her hand. She knew it right away. Hole 13, one that you can get. It's not necessarily a must get. There were some birdies sprinkled in throughout the day on this one here. Floaty bit just short there. As you can see, Weese, after getting that flare on her drive, ended up at circle's edge, not able to hit. Sandy Gast able to knock in a nice straddle putt to save her par. And Sarah Hokom with not much left here for a birdie after a beautiful drive. Looking to take some of that momentum back. And she is 2 down through her last 2. So Sarah Hokom will once again recapture the lead. As we have the par tap in there for Jessica Weese, and these two ladies continue to battle it out down the stretch here. It's been fun to watch. 1-stroke advantage now for Sarah Hokom as we move on to another one of the more gettable holes on this property, hole 14. This one, 264 feet. Again, the target pretty much right in front of you. Straight shot, little bit of a wide hyzer can also work here, but you really just want to throw your straightest mid-range or fairway driver up the gut here. Just have to worry about checking up your speed control as you come into this green, as it can be a little bit fast, and there is a little bit of shrubbery and stuff in the back of this green that can trip you up if you go too long at the pin. Sarah opting for the forehand here after consecutive birdies, and this looks outstanding. Gets some straight ground play, and that's going to put her well inside the circle with a look for the birdie. Look at this shot by Jessica Weese, just outside of the CTP marker. Outstanding. Both of these ladies right now are dialed in, and it is fun to watch. This shot looks great too. Maybe a little deep. A bit too much mustard on that one from Sandy. We'll see how far back she is of the pin. And Holly Finley also throwing that mid-range right up the gut inside the circle. Sandy, circle 2, first to act. Yes, ma'am, dropping it in from C2. Yeah, love it. Let's watch that one back on the run back. High floatery bid finds the bottom of the basket. She's been close all day on a couple of longer bids. Nice to see one finally fall for her there. This is Weese. One that you gotta have here. Oh my goodness. That one sticks on the left side. Couple of chains playing with that frisbee, but it falls to the bottom. It is a birdie. Holly having to navigate around these last couple of trees. No issues whatsoever. Gets the birdie. I think we're gonna have a star frame here. Sarah Hokom the closest of the bunch. And there it is. 4 birdies for these 4 ladies on this lead card, playing this hole perfectly. Still just a 1-stroke advantage. Plenty more action to come your way after this.
Quit being stuck in the past. Check out the new and improved website at infinitediscs.com.
Welcome back to the action. We go from one of the easier holes on the course to one of the more difficult ones. Hole 15, this par 4, 565 feet. Pretty much a wide open tee shot at the beginning here. You want to try to land anywhere you can, giving you a placement look into either one of these 2 gaps. There's a mandatory wide right as well to prevent you from going too far to the right. Doesn't really come into play unless you're throwing a big forehand or a big roller. Birdie here feels almost like an eagle, as this one is just so difficult to access in 2 shots. Hokom going with the forehand here. This is fading out a little bit early, and she's going to have a pinch look to access one of the 2 main gaps to give herself a look at the birdie or par. This is Echo Destroyer for Weese. That looks fantastic. She should have a pretty wide open look at either one of the main gaps from there. Sandy looking to fade out to a similar position to where Weese is, and it looks like she has done just that. Holly with a subtle hyzer flip there, and she's going to end up left side of this fairway as well, which is just fine. Sarah Hokom up first. You can see that yellow arrow in the distance on the right is the mandatory. Hokom not as pinched as I thought she was. And fights through some late bushes there to kick back towards the main fairway. Sandy looking to cut that corner. This looks nice. Oh, I niced her. I definitely niced her. She gets hit with the Invisilim and it knocks her straight down. I think Weese was trying to get the skip there. Unfortunately, flattened out before it hit the ground and gave her a straight skip versus that right skip that she was looking for. Sandy punching her way back out and giving herself a look for the par. Hokom, this is her third. And that should be fine. She should be probably about 20 feet or so. This is a little sonic approach here for Weese.
Great job. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Holly, I sound like a broken record, just approach game on point. Just stress-free drop-in putts. On that one, unfortunately, is going to leak left, and a little bit of a missed opportunity there for Sarah. We're getting to the point now in the round where, I mean, every stroke always counts, but especially down the stretch here. You're kind of just counting the holes and counting the strokes of what you need to do to close this thing out. And she is going to find herself once again in a tie at the top with Jessica Weese as these two ladies continue to battle it out. We move on to hole 16. This is a fun one. Par 3, 314 feet. This marshy area here that the drone is flying over now is all out of bounds. You need to clear this area here. Then you've got a choice to make. You can either try to land somewhere on this peninsula here, which is roped off but out of bounds short and out of bounds long. Or you can try to push to the pin here. And this last stretch of out of bounds short and out of bounds long, also draping around the entirety of the green. To be a destroyer for Weese, so she has made her choice. What a shot under that much pressure inside the circle. Jessica Weese will have a look for birdie. Sandy pushing this right side, needs to get friendly, and unfortunately that is out of bounds. Holly, this looks good. Just needs a late skip. And she gets the green paddle. That one is safe and inbounds. Past that last set of out of bounds. Sarah Hokom. The backhands. Wants it to simmer. And it looks like she is safe. She'll be on the short side of the last out of bounds. Sandy from the drop zone. She hadn't practiced that shot all week, so she was unfamiliar with it, but that green disc you see on the left side is her approach, so beautifully done. This is Hokom for birdie! And a little bit short there. Advantage shifts to Jessica Weese as she is on the green. Holly Finley with the birdie.
That's for two, right?
Yeah.
Great job.
Thank you.
And now Weese looking for the birdie here and a chance to take the outright lead once more. And she will do so. The seesaw battle continues with 2 holes left. Jessica Weese is going to be carrying a 1-stroke advantage now. Through 17 and 18. Neither of which play particularly soft. Both present challenges. So grabbing a stroke on these last 2, that much more difficult. Pretty big advantage there for Weese to be able to grab this lead late. And here it is, hole 17. Par 3, 344, out of bounds marsh area. Once again off the tee, you need to clear it. Almost a carbon copy of the previous hole, just with a little bit more distance and a little bit more out of bounds. The second section here of out of bounds runs short, right, and a little bit behind the basket there. The road obviously behind it as well plays as out of bounds. But the right side OB can come into play pretty fast. It's only about 20 feet or so. So it really makes you control your second shot coming in here if you're not getting there on your first. Jessica Weese is in bounds. A lot of trust on that disc, and it pays off for her. Holly Finley lining up that hyzer flip. Gets a lot of ground play there. It's going to be safe. I don't think she'll be running that, though. Hokom going with the forehand. Playing the wide left route, needing some finish, and that gets knocked down, but she is safe. Just safe from the OB right. Pretty big break there, as that could have easily been knocked down short left and out of bounds like that. Sandy unfortunately does not get the break. She has to bring this back to the early side of the OB, and now flips up her approach past the tree there, and she'll have that left for her bogey. Sarah's got that big tree to deal with here. Oh, that just fell out of her hand. That's going to be a long look.
Alright, no more silence.
Just for the par. So we'll see what that's going to bring, and Holly pitches up her approach to inside the bullseye once again. This is Hokom now for par from circle 2. And she gets it to drop on the right side. Let's run that one back. Sarah Hokom. Beautiful putt, right center. Online the entire way. Clutch putt, you gotta have it, and she gets it. Sandy. Fortunately, that's been the story of her round. A lot of the putt side of her hand has just been a touch low. This is Weese now. She takes her meter in from the out of bounds. She was safe. But this is for the birdie look here, and a chance to take a 2-stroke lead heading into 18. Yes, never a doubt. Jessica Weese. What a back 9 she is putting on. It's almost the flip-flop of round 2, where we saw Weese with the strong front 9, Hokom with the strong back 9. It is flip-flopped around here as Jessica Weese, 5 birdies on this back 9. 1 hole left to go, 2-stroke advantage. Welcome back to the action, guys. We are back here at Northside Park, hole 18, par 4, 613 feet. Great finishing hole, out of bounds, running the entirety of the right-hand side. Pretty wide open on the left-hand side. Couple of late shrubs and smaller trees. Force your hand on the second shot here and beating these maze of trees here to close out. You've got OB behind the basket with the water. Can also come into play on the left side a bit more than on the right side.
You have to say it out loud.
But it all comes down to this, a difficult closing hole. Birdie on this one, boy, that's a lot to ask, but you got a feeling that Sarah Hokom's got to at least get a birdie here to have a shot. Especially if Jessica Weese is going to do that off of the tee. That is in prime position, wide open with plenty of different gaps to choose from to access the green. We did see her go out of bounds during round 1 from a similar spot as she pushed too far and ended up going OB long into the water, but she was close enough that she was able to make her putt to save the par. Hokom doesn't like it out of her hand. That is turned over, and that is going to pretty much eliminate birdie from the equation, barring some type of really tremendous shot. Sandy right up the gut with the hyzer flip. She'll be on the left side. Well played. Hokom first to act here. Let's see how aggressive she wants to get. Oh, it's a little bit of a late kick there. Don't think it made too much of a difference as that was nearing the end of its flight. Sandy punching right up the gut. It just gets a little bit of a late kick from those last limbs. It's like the rain has finally stopped here as we've had rain off and on pretty much from hole 4 on.
Super awesome.
Great shot there for Holly Finley. And Weese just needs to navigate these last couple of shots here. Going with a more overstable disc this time on the approach, and she has put it onto the green. Gets the green paddle. That's pretty much all you need to see there. She can lay up, barring a Sarah Hokom throw-in from here. And that checks up on the green for her, so she will have that left for her par. Sandy, beautiful touch there.
Great shot. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Still got plenty of tricks in the bag there. This is Holly for birdie, just outside the circle. Nope, she wants no part of it. Smartly lays it up, doesn't want a chance at OB to close things out. Hokom, this is for par. Just a touch low there. Weese, her disc is right next to where she was, so similar putt here for Jessica Weese. She can lay this up if she wants to. Comes up a little short, it's not going to matter, as she will have completed the comeback. Started the day 4 strokes back of the lead. Immediately made it 5 after hole 1. Fought her way back throughout. Started to close the gap as we finished out the front 9, cut it down to 2 strokes. And by the time hole 11 was done, she had the outright lead. Then it was just a battle back and forth between herself and Sarah Hokom throughout this back 9. But once she took the lead, she opened that gap on hole 17, and she's going to be your 2023 Chain Hawk Open champion. What a fight. So check out our score box here on this lead card. Weese finishing 13 down, Hokom 10 down. Holly Finley with a solid showing, 5 down overall. And we'll take a look at the overall leaderboard there. As you can see, your podium: Weese, Hokom, Finley, Morgan Linz, and Irina Shakova rounding out your top 5. Again, a big thank you to all you guys for checking out the action. Make sure you check us out on all of our socials at Ace Run Pro. We thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks again to all the staff and volunteers that made this event possible. Big thank you to the TD Chris Clark. Check out this event if it's on your schedule or if it's near you next year. Just the players pack alone is ridiculous for the AM side. Really well-run event. Everybody that I spoke to had a great time. Can't recommend it enough. Thanks again for checking out the action, guys. And as always, from us at Run Productions, let's run it.